Hello friends, I am Arpit and now I am here with the second part of Yojana for the month of May 2024. In the first part, we covered regional diversity in Indian weaving, where we covered almost all the states, what kind of weaving is practiced in those states. In this second part, we will be covering two topics. First is Indian weaves promoting sustainability, and second is Khadi, the icon of Indian independence. Then we will be moving on to the third video, and that will be covering two topics: handloom products of India and weaving as a livelihood. But yes, starting with the first topic over here, Indian weavers promoting sustainability. Now, sustainability, on two aspects we can talk about sustainability. First aspect is that the products are environment friendly, and as we saw in the last segment or last video, that in India cotton and silk is highly prioritized as clothes. But I would like to go a step ahead and say cotton, silk, jute, these are natural fibers, and natural fibers are biodegradable. They get degraded in the atmosphere, in the environment. So one aspect is that of sustainability. The second aspect of sustainability should be that how it is impacting poorest of the poor. Are the poor people of the marginalized section of the society engaged in manufacturing, processing, or selling these kind of products? And these textile products are impacting their lives directly or indirectly. If it is, then it is sustainable. And fortunately, with Indian weaves, this sustainability is there. And this sustainability is not there in the present day scenario. This has been there from the ancient times. Presently, the Cotton Corporation of India leads the way with respect to cotton growing by the farmers, procuring them at MSP, then circulating it to the weavers. So CCI has a very, very important role to play, and CCI in its operations definitely promotes sustainability. Cotton as a sustainable fabric. No doubt about the fact that cotton holds immense significance in India, not only as a commercial crop, but as a symbol of our country's rich textile heritage. Each region has its own style and pattern. We saw it in the last video. Indian weaves are eco-friendly inherently because we are using cotton largely. Then silk also we use, jute also we use, and wool also we use. Wool largely in the hilly states, it is quite common, but yes, in the plains and all, particularly in northern India, it is seasonal usage of this. These fibers are sourced locally and processed by using environment-friendly techniques. These fibers are renewable, biodegradable, and support biodiversity. Obviously, they are sustainable fabrics. Traditional weaving practices. You know, there are various traditional weaving practices which are deeply ingrained in local communities, fostering a sense of social cohesion and economic empowerment. And that is why I was talking about two aspects of sustainability, basically empowering the communities, especially the marginalized sections. And fortunately, Indian weaving is doing it. So the big, I would say, designers also in India, they are collaborating with the local weavers for their products. So this is how it is becoming more and more inclusive. Cotton Corporation of India, if I talk about this, it is basically a PSU, Central Public Sector Undertaking. It is owned by Government of India and is under the administrative control of Ministry of Textile. It is playing a pivotal role in ensuring the sustainability of cotton farming and weaving practices. So farming to weaving, everything is undertaken or looked by CCI. It was established in 1970, July 31st, under the Companies Act of 1956, headquarters in Mumbai. So this is some factual information about CCI. Responsibilities of CCI. First is equitable distribution of cotton. CCI distributes cotton fairly among the industry's various constituents. Cotton imports, it helps with cotton imports because we import a bit of cotton as well. Minimum support price operations. This is basically that price which is given to the growers of cotton, the farmers. So CCI gives its inputs in deciding the MSP also every year, which has to be given to the farmers. So a very important body it is, or a PSU it is. There are various challenges, and in those challenges, we have to seek opportunities. Despite many virtues of Indian weavers, there has been various challenges like competition from mass producing textile. Hand producing textile obviously will suffer because the speed will not be there. Lack of infrastructure. dwindling interest among younger generation. See, the younger generation of the weavers, they believe that they should be not in this particular activity because it is not so lucrative, not so high pay. Now, these challenges also present opportunities for innovation and collaboration. So CCI has strategically collaborated with KVIC, Khadi and Village Industry Commission, to amplify its impact on sustainability. The introduction of Kasturi Bharat cotton brand. This is basically with end-to-end traceability using blockchain technology is a groundbreaking event. So these kind of innovations have been done to make cotton more sustainable, to make the production and weaving of cotton more inclusive and other fibers as well. And most importantly, to make the people benefit out of this particular livelihood, I would say. Next is Khadi, the icon of Indian independence. For discussing Khadi, we'll have to go back to our national freedom struggle. Gandhiji came to India in 1915 and he closely analyzed the pattern which the Britishers used to subjugate us. And he understood one thing very clearly, that the Britishers were taking away raw materials from India and they were flooding Indian markets with finished goods made in England. The raw material was taken at cheaper prices and the finished goods were sold at exorbitant prices. This is how they were draining the wealth. And then an idea struck Gandhiji, and that idea was Swadeshi. That we will not take these finished products made in the factories in England, we will produce our own. So what? We don't have that technical expertise, we will hand weave them. The charkha. That is why it became symbolic. Now, Gandhiji, when he came back, he roamed around India on, I would say, the suggestion of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, who was his mentor. He was there in Champaran Satyagraha in 1917 and he met a woman in Bhilwara village. She was unable to change her sari simply because she did not have another one. And we were the producers of cotton and we did not have this sari. At one time in the past, we were one of the top cotton cultivators. But, the policies of Britishers and all, they marginalized us. This Champaran Satyagraha was all about, you know, this only by the farmers. There was another indigo revolt in which the Britishers forced us to grow indigo, which was used as a dye. And the production of indigo reduced the fertility of that soil. Traditional knowledge was also very much, prevailing in our country. Each and every part of India had its own style of textile design, weaving, dyeing, printing, etc. The quality of cloth also varied from region to region. In fact, many countries had banned the import of cloth from India. Why banned the import of cloth? Because there in those respective countries which had banned the import of cloth, the, I would say, kings or the royal families were using that particular fabric imported from India. Such was the quality of Indian cotton. Our clothes decorated the royals of many countries, and the royals did not want the common people to be using the same cloth. That is why it was banned. Now, what changed when the Britishers came? Basically, power loom was there in the industries in England, which crunched the Indian textile. The cotton grown in India was to be exported to England at very low prices, while British milk cloth flooded the Indian markets. Lakhs and lakhs of Indian spinners, weavers became unemployed because their work was replaced by power loom. So they were kind of in distress. Then began the Khadi movement. In 1908, Gandhi visited London from South Africa because he was at this time in South Africa. There he interacted with a lot of students and other people also. They discussed about the condition in India, and Gandhiji had realization that without spinning the wheel, there will be no Swaraj. He understood right from the very beginning because, wealth drain and all, drain of wealth and all was quite popular at that time. Gandhiji came to India. He taught the entire country. He saw the miseries of the weavers, and he, was shattered by it. Then spinning and weaving came to his mind, and he introduced the weaving in his ashram, Sabarmati ashram. But he soon realized that this process is benefiting the industries more as compared to the farmers. So, what he did not give up first of all. He met an energetic lady, Ganga Ben Majumdar, and told her that find out the traditional way of spinning and its instruments. She was wandering in Gujarat and finally she went to Baroda. Quite several people there had spinning wheels in their homes but had long since consigned them to the lots and useless number, means they kept them aside, but they were ready to resume spinning. This was one such benefit. Gandhiji ignited the spirit of nationalism through Swadeshi movement and made Khadi the symbol of nationalism. He positioned his non-violent weapon to strike the very foundation of colonial exploitation. He was actually making us Atmanirbhar, reducing the economic dependence on the Britishers and impacting their economy as well. Now, Khadi, the Swadeshi. The test of Swadeshi is not the universality of the use of an article. Basically, universality of participation in the production or manufacture of such articles should also be there by the Indians. That Indians are manufacturing it, Indians are using it. Then only that is the true sense or essence of Swadeshi. This is what he pursued. He insisted use of khadi and boycott of foreign made goods. This would impact the economy of the Britishers. He ignited the spirit of nationalism through Swadeshi movement and made khadi the symbol of nationalism. Nationalism means feeling of oneness. And those people who wore khadi identified themselves with each other. Those people who spun khadi identified themselves with each other. And that was a symbol of resistance. The economic aspect. Khadi was an instrument of vibrant rural economy because people in the rural areas were spinning their wheels to produce khadi. Khadi empowered women, as many of them were involved in weaving and spinning. The decentralized system of production would lead to equal distribution of income. This is what inclusivity is, and this is what sustainability is also, which we covered in the first topic. Khadi made a dent on the textile industry of Manchester and Lancashire by reducing the Indian imports. So, this is what the impact was. Khadi, the icon of independence. Charkha became the icon of independence movement, and Khadi became their identity of nationalism. Basically, India witnessed a major shift from colonial power to people's power, and that was truly a people's movement. And what was it? It was an economic activity which became a powerful political weapon. You see, underlying factor is economy. It is there at the bottom of everything. You harm anyone economically, you will be harming them politically, culturally, and geopolitically as well. So this is what Gandhiji understood back then and used khadi as a weapon. Now we've come to an end of this particular session. I will be meeting you in the third session and covering the remaining two topics. Till then, you guys very well know what to do. I'm not repeating it. I'll see you in the third video.